Well, the South Australian Ombudsman has issued a damning report into the handcuffing and shackling of prisoners in hospital. Richard Bingham has found prison authorities exceeded legal powers and international obligations by using excessive force. The cases include a dying prisoner who was restrained for 14 days and a pregnant woman who was shackled during part of her labour. Nick Harmsen reports.
Handcuffed and shackled to a bed. This is how all prisoners taken to hospital in South Australia are restrained. Now, in some cases, the Ombudsman's found it's illegal. The alarm was raised by the government-appointed community visitor, Maurice Corcoran, after complaints from doctors.
As a South Australian, I had no idea this sort of thing was happening until I began this position last year.
The Ombudsman Richard Bingham looked at 6 cases, including a prisoner dying of motor neurone disease who was restrained in hospital for 14 days.
Correctional services still insisted on that man being handcuffed and shackled to a bed. It's, you know, in this day and age, it's a very harming report, I think.
Another case involved a female prisoner who was giving birth.
She was actually still remained handcuffed and shackled 5 hours after her contractions had begun.
The Ombudsman found the woman may have been guarded by male prison officers while undergoing an internal exam and whilst giving birth. The Correctional Services Department denies any wrongdoing.
She did have a history of significant offending and a history of violence.
But nevertheless, it will change its procedures for restraining prisoners in hospital, which were put in place after 3 escapes in 2010.
We received recent legal advice that there are measures that we could have put in place that meant we were meeting our legislation more appropriately.
These persons who were subjected to these activities, in light of those findings, may well have an opportunity of making claims against the department.
The Correctional Services Minister Jennifer Rankin was unavailable for interview. Nick Harmsen, Lateline.